Welcome back. This is AJXG here with another video. So like I told you guys, I was going to keep up with Tech Tuesdays. So today I have PC builds for you that you can purchase and get straight into gaming and streaming, or into any activities that you enjoy doing on a gaming PC. Now, most of these PCs are going to be on the higher end. I will show maybe one or two that are between $600 and $900. But I am going to caution you and give you some advice if you're going to buy those PCs and what you would use those for. So let's get into this. All right, so here we have a Cyberpower PC. All right, this has a Ryzen 7 3800X. Okay, it has 1 terabyte of solid state drive. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it has a RTX 3060, which is really awesome. Now, for this price point, it is okay, because if you've looked up graphics cards, if you look up the specific graphic card on eBay, it sells for about half of the price of this PC already. So if you wanted to build your own, you could, but if you're someone that obviously wants to just buy it, plug and play, you can also get this one. Now, the reason why I'm showing this one is because it actually has a water cooler, which is really awesome. Has some nice RGB lights, and the lights are actually remote controlled, so you don't have to, go into the settings and change them yourself, which you obviously could, but you have a physical remote to change it. It looks like this comes with dual channel RAM, so that's awesome. You want something that's dual channel, especially when gaming and streaming, so that is great right there. As you see, it doesn't have custom cables. It looks like it has mustard and ketchup cables, but it's okay. You're not staring into the PC while you're playing it. You're playing on it, right? And I believe this one comes with a keyboard and mouse. I mean, it's just some standard keyboard and mouse. It's not something that you would want to like game hardcore with, but this is a really nice tower, and it looks like there's enough fan ventilation in this. Now, the reason why I show this, yes, it shows about 1500 here, but if we come over here, we can see you can buy it straight from Amazon, and it doesn't seem like it shows that it's used. So you can buy it straight from Amazon for about $200 cheaper. So for $1,300, this is not a terrible build at all. And as you see here, it has about 4 stars. All right. Me, when I purchase products, I like to see the range between 5 stars and 1 star. Okay. I like to see the percentage of the 5-star versus the 1 star. Here, if it's half, if the 1 star is half of the amount of the 5 stars, wouldn't recommend it, wouldn't buy it myself. But here it looks like it's about a quarter, less than a quarter, maybe 20% of the reviews that are actually given, because most people buy shit and don't ever leave reviews. So there's that. So if it was me and my money and I had to purchase a pre-build, I wouldn't mind buying this personally. Now, I don't know what kind of power supply it is. It could be some aftermarket power supply, but it comes with 1 terabyte of a solid state drive, which is awesome. I'm trying to think, if you were to build this yourself, you probably would pay around $1,300. Maybe you can get it between $1,100 and $1,250, depending on where you buy your parts. If you buy them used, like me, when I build stuff, I like to buy a lot of open box products, because most people just bring it to the store, open it, it didn't fit or whatever. Micro Center pretty much checks everything that people return, so they wouldn't put it out to sell again if it's not functional, right? So RAM, I want to say about $60 you could buy some RAM for 16 gigabytes, 75-ish. A 1 terabyte hard drive, between $60 and $80 right there. I know the Ryzen 7 CPU is between $200 and $280, depending on if you catch a sale or not. And then the water cooler itself, that's where a lot of expenses come in for the cooling of it. If you just use the standard Wraith cooler, you would be good. So this is a good price point. It's completely up to you, of course, but if it was me and my money and I had to buy a pre-built, if I didn't know how to build and I just understood how parts work, this is a great price range, especially for that $1,300. Okay, if you want to buy it brand spanking new, go ahead. I've read some of the reviews. Some of the people say that the shipment came beat up. But you gotta remember, Amazon doesn't control the shipment. Like, they have the item, it's working perfectly fine, they put it on the truck, and whoever manhandle it, it's on them. Again, Amazon has a fabulous return policy, and so if it does come damaged, you can send it back and you can get a brand new one. Okay, so this one says right now it's in stock, so that's really good. But yeah, let's get into the next one. All right, guys, so now we have a Skytech. This is in the low $1,000 range. Now, please understand, I know you guys are like, these prices are astronomical, but you have to understand that right now the graphics card market has a shortage. It's had a shortage pretty much since the start of the pandemic. So please, I understand that these prices are kind of high, and there's a reason why I'm showing you these higher end compared to the low end, because the cheaper ones comes with really shitty graphics cards. Okay, so this one has a Ryzen 5 3600. It has a GTX 1660 Super, 6 gigabytes. It has 5 gigabytes of solid state drive and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I know I always stress that you should have 16. Literally, it's a $40 to $50 increase just to add the RAM yourself. I know it's like, if I buy a product, I want everything to be in it. I'm telling you right now, if you get a 16 gigabyte one, it's going to add the price by $100, which it shouldn't. It's literally, they're charging you because they have to install it, and it's an extra thing of RAM. Like, it shouldn't be an extra $100 for 16 gigabytes of RAM, but that's pretty much what they do. If you've ever looked at a laptop that had 8 gigabytes and you looked at one that had 16 with the same specs except for the RAM, it literally goes up $100 to $150. Same thing with the desktops, people. Okay, this is a great option, and this one has a Wi-Fi option. Now, I know this one isn't as pretty, and it's like, I want something, maybe if you want something in white. So, in white, okay, for $10 cheaper, okay, it doesn't have the same specs. It has a regular GTX 1660. The other one has a Super. Now, it's like, well, what's the difference between the 1660 and the Super? It's maybe like 10 to 20 frames, but if I was going to only spend $10 more, I might as well get the Super. Okay, this one doesn't have the Wi-Fi, so if you want to use Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet, I mean, this one has Wi-Fi. I think the other one doesn't. Either way, these are your options. So you can do the white one or you can do the black one. I like how the white one looks, but I prefer the internals of the black one. Okay, so I am going to probably show you a few from Best Buy, and just give me a quick second. All right, so these are my options from Best Buy if you would rather shop at Best Buy. Again, these links will be in the description down below. So if you want, you can use them to go to them. If you use the Amazon link, it does help out the channel. If you go to Best Buy, I don't get a kickback, but it's totally fine. I'm here to help you get the best price. All right, so this one has an i5 11th gen CPU. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has a GTX 1660 Super. It has 256 solid state drive and 1 terabyte hard disk drive. Now this is awesome, and this is actually $50 cheaper than the one that I just showed you on Amazon. The only thing is that this one, I think this one, the other one had 8 gigabytes too. So this one has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, like I said, if you change this to 16 gigabytes of RAM, it's going to change all the specs. So it becomes an AMD Ryzen 7. It has 200. I think it just changes the CPU. So instead of an Intel CPU, you get an AMD CPU. I'll change it and show you the price difference. Now, this PC is really nice and slick. It looks like it's a micro ATX form factor, which means it's a little bit smaller than a full tower or full or mid ATX board. But look, you still get the RGB if you want. You get the Legion logo in the front. Now, this company has really great customer service. I love Lenovo. I'm telling you right now, great customer service. Now, the the i5 11th gen CPUs, the 11th gen Intel CPUs in general, they are really good. They work really well with NVIDIA cards. Intel and NVIDIA have always worked hand in hand. So, but this was a really great option, especially for the $950. Now, this video is coming out before Labor Day. If you wait until Labor Day weekend, which is this weekend coming up, you will be probably able to get this for $100 cheaper. I don't know, but we all know when you get stuff when it's like holiday sales, you get it for anywhere from 15 to 25% off. So you might get lucky and catch this for like $870 something or $880. Okay, Again, always recommend 16 gigabytes of RAM so you can purchase another stick and just put it in yourself. Now, sometimes these will have two 4 gigabyte sticks, which is like annoying. So then you would have to buy 2 8 gigabyte sticks, which is still like $70, but it's going to improve the performance of your gameplay and if you're streaming. Okay, now I'm going to change the RAM like I said I would. Where's the RAM? Okay, RAM. If I change it to 16 gigabytes, now you see this has almost 5 stars. I change it, it goes up $100, right? But you do have the 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now you have an AMD processor, a 7th gen. Now the 7th gen is more powerful than an i5, but the way Intel and Nvidia works well together, it's just like a perfect blend. Okay, same graphics card. Okay, pretty much same specs. The only difference is your CPU changes. Now, if you want, you can look and see the reviews why it's 2 stars less than the previous one, but just wanted to show you the option. Like I said, when you add just 1 stick of RAM, it adds $100 anyways. So if you can do it yourself for extra $60, right? Save yourself $40, plug it in yourself, you'll be good to go. Let's move on to the next PC. So I did say I was going to show you some that were between $600 and $900. So here we go. This one's $700. All right. We have an AMD Ryzen 3. This is a 4300 chip. Okay. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has an RX 5500 and it has 256 solid state drive of storage. Now that's a little bit of storage, especially if you're going to be playing a lot of PC games. But if you're someone that's just going to be playing PC games and not really streaming, this is a great option for you. So if you're buying this for a kid that's playing like Roblox or Minecraft, even if they're playing Call of Duty, you can play Call of Duty on low settings, low, medium, do a little mix of that, and you will be perfectly fine. Now, COD is intensive on resources, so I would recommend adding another stick of RAM. Like I always say, 16 gig is starting to be like the minimum standard. So I don't know why more PCs don't just have 16 gigs, but whatever. If you're buying this for someone that's just going to be playing Roblox, Minecraft, games that are not intensive like Call of Duty, this is a great option. Fortnite, this is good for Fortnite as well. This is a great option for them. Now, $700 is pretty good. RX 5500 is a low mid graphics card, which is perfectly fine. Now, if you're someone that's like streaming from a console, like you're playing on a console and you're streaming through your PC, this will do just fine. Okay, it's not going to choke up and blow up. Like, it'll be fine. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to stream on 1080 60 frames per second, but you can do 720 30 frames per second, 720 60 frames per second. You should be okay. All right, so this is a great option for someone that just wants to play games and stream with a console, or just play games on it that's not resource intensive. Okay, and we're gonna get into the last build for this episode. Now, this one is another one in the $700 range. I would highly recommend the one that I just spoke about versus this one, but I'm still gonna show it so you have the option. Okay, this is a Ryzen 3 3100. Okay, this is still a great chip actually for a low budget build. Before the GPU shortage, you could definitely build like a $600 PC that would be a beast with this chip. Okay, so 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has a RX 560, and you have 500 gigabytes of solid state drive. This is a great option again for low budget, and if you're doing console streaming, or if you're playing games like Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite, something that's not intensive on the computer itself. All right, so let's talk about some specs that you should look for if you want to build your own PC, or if you want to just shop around yourself. Okay, all right guys, I hope this episode was really helpful for you guys that we're looking for PCs to buy. Again, if you're gonna buy a PC, personally for me, the lowest GPU that you should be looking for, at least on the Nvidia side, is a 1650 Super. But for me personally, the lowest I would go is a 1660. So it's completely up to you. You want to have at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, and don't get an i3. i5 or better. For the Ryzen, actually the Ryzen 3s are pretty good for gaming, so you can do a Ryzen 3 and up. But again, I also always recommend Ryzen 5 and up, Intel i5 and up, okay? Anywhere from 9th gen to 11th gen for the Intel, and for the Ryzen, the 2700 series are still good. I mean, the 2000 series are still great, so you can get those and up. And it's completely up to you as to how much storage you want on your PC. Me, I have 3 hard drives. I have my main hard drive, which is like 256 gigabytes, which I really wish I started off at like 512 or 1 terabyte, because yeah, I have that. I have a 2 terabyte hard disk drive, and I bought a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive for Call of Duty specifically, because that shit takes forever to load up on a hard disk drive. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section down below, and I'll check you out next Tuesday. Peace.